What is going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a pre recorded video. I almost wanted to say live, but here on National Signing Day, looking at just how good did the Texas A&M Aggies do today? Because I'm going to tell you what, we still got February and National Signing Day. I think this team has potential for the number one class. We'll get to that in a second, but first, let's get into the intro. Early National Signing Day, one of the best days of the college football season, at least in my opinion. I mean, I enjoy signing day probably just as much as the draft. Football, as we all know, in this great community that we have, college football is, what drives this community, the talking point of conversation. We love all the games. We love all the Heisman winners. We love the historic moments. But if you're like me, and I'm sure a lot of you are, you enjoy recruiting. You enjoy seeing where these players are going to wind up and where they're going to go, who's going to get the number one class. Is it truly all Alabama or Georgia or whatever? Well, I'll tell you what, one team that's on track right now is the Texas A&M Aggies. They have amazing players right now that signed today. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I at least found three key players I want to talk and look at on here. Walter Nolan, nationally ranked number 2 overall. Gabriel Brownlow Dindy is a 5-star. Connor Wegman, they get a 5-star quarterback. He's the second ranked quarterback in this year's recruiting class. He's 7th in the state of Texas, and nationally, he is the 18th overall player in this class. They get a 4-star Anai White, edge defender off the line, 6'5", 230. That's a good pickup. Bryce Anderson, and so on and so forth. Overall, I'd say so far, their recruiting class is pretty darn good. I got to give them props. Got to give the Aggies credit where credit is due. And I give Jimbo Fisher some credit. Now, I want to hear from you guys. And also, I see this guy here. I'm kind of upset about this one because Le'Veon Moss was offered. I think he was committed to Alabama. So that's a tough loss for the Tide as an Alabama fan. But again, I said it earlier on the stream today. Don't get too pissed off because the college kid chooses where he goes. But watch a guy like Le'Veon Moss. He is the 6th rated running back in this year's recruiting class. He's the 85 overall player. He's a 4-star athlete, 6 foot tall, exactly 190. And I've watched this guy play. I've watched his highlights. I've heard people talk about Le'Veon Moss. Is he the best thing you could want of a running back? No. But he's something to work with. And Jimbo is an amazing offensive coach that I think could develop a player like Le'Veon Moss and ultimately help him out. That being said, and again, I don't want to make this one too long, but looking at the Aggies, give them props. They have a lot of great talent. A lot of great talent. But I do want to look at a couple players, right? This first one being Walter Nolan, right? And, he, like I said, top guy in the class, going to Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher, going to College Station. He's from Powell, Tennessee. He's a 5-star. He's 6'4", 325. That's a big guy right there. That's a big guy. And I give them props for picking this guy up. So we can maybe. I want to definitely look at a little bit of film. Um, not really. Surely you have seen film on Walter Nolan, but I do have at least two other guys that I'll get to and talk about. I don't want to be showing a whole lot of recruiting footage or whatever. But Walter Nolan overall, Powell, Tennessee recruit, 6'4", 325. From what I have seen, this guy is fast off the line of scrimmage. He is very well built. He is a hard hitting nose tackle. I mean, he makes me think of some guys that Bama has had. He makes me honestly, if I got to go to Georgia, he makes me think of a Jordan Davis. He's that well built of a player, that good of a player. I think he's going to have a bright future with the Aggies. I really do. He got some other offers. He got a lot of offers, actually. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the teams, but the top five, signing with A&M, of course, but you had Florida on the list. You had Michigan. You had Tennessee. You had Alabama. I could go on. Arizona State, Clemson, of course, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Memphis, Miami, Florida State, LSU, and the list goes on and on and on. A lot of people wanted this guy. Vandy offered him. Pittsburgh offered him. Oregon offered him. I mean, Penn State. There's a lot of teams that offered Walter Nolan. And for the Aggies to pick this guy up, for Jimbo Fisher to go out there and have the day that he had today, as I'm recording this on National Signing Day on Wednesday night, um, for him to go out there and get this guy and pick him up and bring him to College Station is incredible. But again, I'll say this: getting a 5-star recruit, getting a 4-star, getting a player on your roster is nothing if you don't let this guy develop and play. Nobody's perfect. Is this guy going to fit in well with A&M? I really don't know. I think so. If I had to take a guess, I think he'll do pretty good. Um, I mean, one of the top tackles in the NFL draft coming up is from A&M. DeMarvin Leal um, is a top guy. I mean, he's like top five. He he's going to go pretty high in the draft. Walter Nolan is like having another DeMarvin Leal. Hard hitter, great off blocks, can get through the line and get to the quarterback, pressure him, sack him, and take him down. He's incredible. I think the Aggies got a good pickup here. That being said, going forward, I picked another recruit to look at too. Is Chris Marshall. Now, Chris Marshall is a 4-star wide receiver. Got some highlights of him real quick. It's pretty cool. Very good speed, very fast. Just real quick, show you guys what he's with. This is going to be a key weapon for Texas A&M and the offense, I think, going forward. This quarterback that was playing with him in high school too is pretty good. Um, but here you go. Step up in the pocket, quarterback's rolling, but he throws. But look at this. Look at him just hold on to it. Look at his speed. Look at him recognizing open coverage and finding a way into the end zone. This is a speedy receiver. He's only 4-star, but you know what? Look at this. His hands. Wow. This is incredible. Look at this guy. Let me slow this down for you guys. Point out what I want to show y'all. So the ball's traveling through the air. I don't know if I could catch this, but look at this. Look at he keeps his eye on the ball. He puts his hands down like that. And a lot of receivers can't do that. I mean, yeah, anybody could probably go out and catch a football. This isn't straight to him. He's having to reach out to get the ball just like that, pick it up and hold on. The defender's right behind him. And he also, I mean, he's reaching for the end zone but he's keeping his balance as he's slowly getting to the sideline, and he's staying in bounds. This is a speedy pickup receiver. Makes you think of maybe some guys that Alabama has had overall when you look at it. I like Chris Marshall, 6'3", 195. That's like Devontae Smith size, only he's got a little bit more weight to him. Um, could he possibly be that kind of receiver though? Like, could he be a Devontae Smith at Texas A&M? I'm not saying Heisman, but I mean, is this guy just going to be one of those speedy receivers that you cannot stop and you cannot let get behind you or ahead of you if you're a defensive back? Like, don't let this guy get open. Don't get behind him and let him catch the ball. Chris Marshall, I think, is going to have a great opportunity with Jimbo Fisher and his offensive mind, um, and what he wants to do offensively. I think he's going to be a great receiver that the Aggies are. I mean, they darn sure are not going to regret picking this guy up. And again, I mean, of course, assuming that everything stays in check. Because, I mean, you see it all the time where, like, college athletes might have some issues or whatever, and they can't play in a game, whatever, right? So let's assume that these recruits that they picked up, they're nice guys, they're good people. They're not going to go screw up or anything. They're getting good grades, and if they can play, I guarantee you that they will play. And when they do play, you're going to see some talented guys on the field for Texas A&M. I mentioned Chris Marshall. I mentioned Walter Nolan. I'll give you one more guy here. Um, Connor Wegman. He is a 5-star quarterback. Now, a lot of people look at the quarterback situation with Zach Calzada, right? I also would point out Haynes King, um, who was a 5-star recruit that the Aggies picked up, which a lot of people offered Haynes King. I don't know what's up with him. I don't think he's bad or anything, but I guess something about Zach Calzada, he's just the better quarterback for A&M, at least for right now. But let's say after he's gone in a year or so, Connor Wegman. There's going to be some quarterback competition. This guy is incredible. He committed back earlier this year. The highlights I'm fixing to show are from like September. So, you got this Connor Wegman. I think he's going to be a great leader for him. I mentioned Walter Nolan too, big guy here. That's him. I mentioned Chris Marshall, uh, but Connor Wegman, right, playing for the Bears, but not the Bears. This guy is very special, good awareness, and right out the gate, this first play here that I'll show y'all. Um, Let me show you here. All right, check this out. Quarterback hands the ball off, right? Goes back to catch it. Look at this. You could put him in some mixed packages. His speed and acceleration down the field and recognizing the defense and everything is incredible. Holy crap. I'm very impressed. I mean, seriously. This is a guy you want leading your offense. Look at this arm. Look at the arc of the ball. Look, rolls out, sees opening, fits it in between defenders. This is the leader you want for your offense. Now, again, I say this about high school. College is another level, right? We got to remember that about these players. But I'll tell you what, if they're as good as what they are in high school, I think the Aggies are going to be loaded, and especially if this guy's eventually taken over for them, right? So, but overall, I'll say this and leave it at this. Jimbo Fisher, you did yourself good. 3 guys that I talked about, right? I mentioned Chris Marshall, a good sized vertical receiver. Walter Nolan, the top recruit of this year's class, practically one of the top, best defensive end. Again, he had a lot of options to go wherever he wanted. Bama, Georgia, Florida, Michigan, Texas. He ended up with Texas A&M. I mean, he had recruits or offers from all kinds of schools out there, and he's going to College Station with Jimbo Fisher and of course the Texas A&M Aggies. But y'all comment down below what you think about this class. A&M fans, I want to hear from y'all. Who are you looking forward to the most out of this class? Again, I didn't want to go through all of it. But for the most part, when I look at it, I think they outdid themselves this year. And again, you got to remember, you still got February, so I mean, they could still pick some guys up. Some guys could flip from now until then. I mean, A&M could very much finish in the top five, if not top three, when it's all said and done in recruiting. I like where they are at right now. And again, I mentioned earlier, like, was a factor of it when Jimbo beat Alabama. Remember he said he was going to do that in the offseason. Not a lot of people bought into it. Not a lot of people believed it. But do you think that part of the recruiting that he's doing this year so far and what he did today and who he picked up, I mean, some guys to flip, some big decisions to make. Do you think maybe that win over Alabama played a factor? Because, I mean, when players see a coach keep his word or go win a title or go, beat a very big team or pull an upset or just be competitive, be a winning type of football team, which A&M very much was, at least the last half of this regular season. When players see that, they want to go play for that. It's not just Alabama. It's not just Georgia. And quite honestly, I think A&M might be the next team in line. And if they're recruiting like they are today, if they could keep that up going forward, who knows where Jimbo Fisher could take the Aggies, ultimately winning the SEC potentially. I think that's a good possibility, and maybe even further than that. But I love you guys. Merry Christmas. Still the holiday season. I love y'all. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And of course, comment down below who your team was, who they side, who you looking forward to the most. And then again, let me know what you think of these three prospects that I mentioned for A&M, these recruits, I should say. It's not the NFL. But overall, again, let me know what you think about these guys, what you think about Jimbo. Who's going to end up being the number one class? That's another big one, too. Love y'all. Have a good one. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media is checking out. Love y'all. Peace out.